Imagine standing at the edge of your dreams, feeling the weight of challenges pressing on your shoulders. Most people wish life would get easier, but very few realize a powerful truth. Life gets better when we get better. Today, stay with me till the end, because this message has the potential to change your perspective forever. Jim Rohn taught that growth is the great equalizer, the force that turns obstacles into stepping stones and problems into preparation. Whether you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or ready for a new chapter, this speech will show you why the next breakthrough begins with you. 1. The wrong way to look at hard times. Hard times often trigger our most instinctive and unhelpful responses. When life becomes difficult, most people default to complaining, blaming, or withdrawing, as if hardship were some cosmic mistake that should not be happening to them. We tell ourselves that life is unfair, that we deserve better, or that things would improve if only our circumstances magically changed. But this mindset, although common, is the wrong way to interpret adversity. Jim Rohn often said that challenges are not punishments, but invitations, invocations of potential, reminders that growth is available to us if we are willing to step into discomfort. The wrong way to view difficulty is to assume it exists to block us, when in reality, difficulty exists to build us. When we ask, "Why is this happening to me?" we trap ourselves in a loop of self-pity, looking outward for solutions that can only be found inward. The better question, the transforming question, is what is this teaching me? Hard times are classrooms disguised as burdens, offering lessons that comfort can never provide. When we run from struggle, we run from our own potential. When we refuse responsibility, we refuse transformation. The world does not become easier. We become stronger. Obstacles do not shrink. We grow large enough to overcome them. When we shift our mindset, trials stop looking like enemies and start looking like allies. Messy, uncomfortable, frustrating allies, but allies nonetheless. They refine us, shape our resilience, sharpen our understanding, and reveal capacities we never knew we had. Most people want smoother paths, lighter loads, more effortless routes, but Jim Rohn warned that wishing for easier conditions weakens the human spirit. If life were always soft, people would become soft too. Muscles are built through resistance. Character is built the same way. Imagine a life without hardship. No challenge to stretch us, no pressure to refine us, no difficulty to demand our best. That life would make us fragile, not fulfilled. Hard times teach us patience, humility, clarity, and wisdom. They strip away illusions and force us to see what truly matters. They show us where we are unprepared and where we need to grow. They break us open so that stronger versions of ourselves can emerge. When we look at adversity as a barrier, we suffer twice, first from the challenge itself, and second from the belief that we shouldn't have to face it. But when we see hardship as part of our path, as a necessary element of becoming who we are meant to be, the suffering dissolves and is replaced with purpose. We begin to rise. We begin to transform. We begin to understand that every storm carries a message and every struggle carries a seed, if we are willing to receive it. The wrong way to approach hard times is to believe they are unfair interruptions to our happiness. The right way is to recognize them as the staircase to a stronger, wiser, more capable self. Instead of shrinking, we stretch. Instead of retreating, we rise. Instead of asking life to be easier, we challenge ourselves to become greater. This shift in perspective doesn't remove the storm, but it does change who we become within it, and that difference is everything. 2. Upgrading skills for bigger results. Every leap forward in life demands a leap forward in ability, and one of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting greater results without changing the level of effort, discipline, or skill they bring to the table. Mediocre habits cannot produce exceptional outcomes. Jim Rohn often reminded us that success is not something we chase, but something we attract by the person we become. This means that if we want better results, financially, emotionally, professionally, or personally, we must first upgrade ourselves. Better outcomes require better tools, and those tools are the skills we sharpen daily. Communication must improve, discipline must deepen, consistency must strengthen, creativity must expand, and execution must become sharper. People want breakthroughs, but breakthroughs happen when preparation and capability align with opportunity. Many individuals wait for luck instead of building competence, but competence is what turns opportunities into achievements. Small, simple, daily improvements create compounding results. Reading even 10 pages a day builds a library of knowledge. Learning from experts accelerates progress by years. Studying failures reveals patterns we can avoid in the future. Practicing a skill, even for a short time daily, creates exponential mastery over months and years. Growth is not accidental. It is deliberate, intentional, chosen. When we invest in upgrading our skills, we increase our value to the world, and the world responds accordingly. Success flows toward those who are prepared for it, not those who merely hope for it. And skill building is not limited to technical ability. It includes improving emotional intelligence, problem solving, leadership, adaptability, and the discipline to follow through no matter how we feel. Every major achievement in life is built on a foundation of invisible hours spent sharpening ability. People see the rewards but not the repetition. They admire the result but overlook the refinement. Yet Jim Rohn's message is clear. If you want more, become more. The marketplace rewards value, and you increase your value by expanding your skills. When you grow, your opportunities expand automatically. New doors open, new solutions appear, and new confidence emerges. You stop being intimidated by challenges because you have built the capacity to overcome them. You stop waiting for things to change because you have become the kind of person who creates change. Upgrading your skills is not only a pathway to success, it is a responsibility to your own potential. When we develop ourselves, we expand not only what we can achieve, but also what we can contribute. The world needs skilled people, disciplined people, thoughtful people, capable people, and you have the ability to become one of them. Growth may be slow, but it is guaranteed for those who stay committed. And once your abilities expand, your opportunities will follow in perfect alignment. 3. The value of self-improvement. Self-improvement is the most valuable investment a person can make because everything you touch, build, pursue, or create flows from who you are. You are the engine behind every outcome in your life, and when the engine improves, everything connected to it improves too. People often chase success as if it exists outside themselves, thinking that if they find the right opportunity or meet the right person or experience a stroke of luck, everything will suddenly change. But Jim Rohn taught that success is never separate from the person pursuing it. The quality of your results always mirrors the quality of your character, habits, mindset, and skills. When you become better, life becomes better. When you think deeper, you decide better. When you cultivate discipline, you follow through. When you build emotional intelligence, relationships strengthen. When you read, study, practice, and grow, you unlock decisions and pathways that your old self would never have recognized. The world responds to who you are, not who you wish to be. You attract opportunities that match your level of preparation, mindset, and maturity. That is why self-improvement is not a luxury or a hobby. It is the foundation of a meaningful future. Developing a new skill expands your potential. Strengthening your habits builds stability. Refining your mindset creates clarity. Elevating your discipline builds reliability. Mastering your emotions creates resilience. Each improvement compounds into greater versions of yourself, and those versions become capable of achieving things that once felt impossible. People often fear investing in themselves because the results are not immediate, but they are always inevitable. Growth may be invisible for weeks or months, but eventually it manifests in clearer thinking, better opportunities, wiser choices, stronger confidence, and deeper fulfillment. Nothing in life pays greater dividends than working on yourself. The more you grow, the more you can give to your relationships, the more you can contribute to your work, the more you can create with your talents, the more you can build with your vision, and the more you can handle the challenges that life will inevitably bring. Self-improvement is not just about achieving success. It is about becoming the kind of person who can sustain success with integrity, wisdom, and strength. It is about developing the inner qualities that make a life meaningful: courage, clarity, purpose, compassion, self-awareness, and perseverance. When you upgrade yourself, your entire life upgrades. And the beautiful irony is that the journey never ends. No matter how much you grow, there is always another level of possibility waiting. Investing in yourself is never a waste because you are the foundation upon which your future is built, and strengthening that foundation is the surest path to a life of fulfillment, purpose, and extraordinary potential. 4. Success as a byproduct of becoming more. Success is not luck, accident, or privilege alone. It is the predictable reward for increasing your value. You don't get paid for your time, you get paid for the value you bring to that time. Two people can invest the same hour, yet produce completely different results because one has cultivated skills, discipline, vision, emotional intelligence, and a mindset capable of creating exceptional output. Success responds to value the way crops respond to sunlight, consistently, naturally, inevitably. If you want more income, more opportunities, more influence, or more impact, the path is not begging for them, not wishing for them, but becoming the kind of person who attracts them as a natural extension of their identity. Jim Rohn said, "If you want more, you must become more." And that simple truth explains the entire structure of personal achievement. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you can produce, sustain, and justify through your personal development. Too often, people chase outcomes instead of transformation. They want better results without better character, better rewards without better habits, better positions without better preparation. But life doesn't work that way. You rise to your level of personal growth and fall to your level of personal weakness. When you improve who you are on the inside, your discipline, your focus, your resilience, your creativity, everything on the outside begins to shift in your favor. Suddenly, opportunities that once passed you by begin to notice you. Challenges you used to crumble under become manageable, even energizing. Conversations become richer. Decisions become clearer. Your confidence increases because you're no longer pretending. You've built a foundation you can trust. This is why personal development is not optional if you want meaningful success. It is the core of everything you will achieve. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because while your job might make you a living, your personal development will make you a life. The market rewards value, and value comes from growth. Your ability to think more effectively, communicate more clearly, solve problems more creatively, and persist more consistently. When growth becomes a habit, success becomes a natural consequence. You no longer need to chase it, it follows you. You no longer need to hope for breakthroughs, your character creates them. You don't need to envy others. You're busy becoming someone worth admiring. Most people underestimate what building themselves can unlock. They look for shortcuts, hacks, secrets, or luck. But the real secret is that when you consistently become a stronger, wiser, more capable version of yourself, your results expand to match it. Success becomes less about striving and more about aligning the person you are with the outcomes you desire. And when you finally realize that every goal you dream of lies on the other side of who you can become, you stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "Who must I become to deserve it?" That shift changes everything. It transforms success from a distant dream into an inevitable destination. 5. Celebrating skill progress. Celebrate every improvement, no matter how small, because in the real world, mastery is built from millions of moments that most people overlook. Learning a new technique, resisting an old temptation, showing a bit more discipline, reading another chapter, training when it's easier not to, or choosing patience over impulse. These are victories that shape your identity long before they show up in visible results. Growth is rarely loud. It doesn't announce itself with dramatic breakthroughs. Instead, it whispers through tiny improvements, daily repetitions, and quiet moments of consistency that compound silently behind the scenes. Jim Rohn taught that progress is proof that the journey is working. The challenge is that progress rarely feels glamorous. It often feels slow, subtle, and unspectacular. Yet this slow progress is exactly what separates those who succeed from those who quit. When you learn to celebrate your progress, even the progress no one else sees, you turn the process itself into fuel. You build momentum. You strengthen self-belief. You stop tying your motivation to perfect results and instead anchor it to consistent effort. Celebrating progress trains your mind to recognize growth, not just accomplishment. It teaches you to value direction over speed, commitment over bursts of enthusiasm, and development over comparison. Too many people dismiss their own improvements because they measure themselves against someone else's highlight reel or their own unrealistic timeline. They overlook the fact that every expert was once a beginner, every champion once lacked skill, and every master once struggled. Skill is clay shaped by repetition, not a gift handed to the lucky. Every new skill you build adds one more piece to the life you are constructing. And when you step back years from now, you won't remember how fast or slow you were. You'll remember that you kept going. One page, one workout, 1 hour of focus, one act of discipline at a time. Perfection is a myth, but progress is always accessible. When you acknowledge how far you've come, you strengthen your ability to continue. You stop needing external validation because you've learned to validate yourself. You stop feeling overwhelmed by the size of the goal because you've learned to appreciate the size of each step. Celebrating progress is not about ego. It's about recognizing that you are actively shaping your future through your effort. And over time, these small, consistent steps, like dots on a canvas, begin to connect into a masterpiece you once doubted you could create. The skills you develop become the tools that build your destiny, and each small improvement becomes proof that you are on the right path. So celebrate every step, not because it is perfect, but because it is progress. And progress, no matter how small, is the momentum that will eventually carry you exactly where you want to go. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better, because when you improve yourself, your life improves automatically.